Ooh, what's good, YouTube? Yo, boy 21 here, and today it's gonna be a very informational video because today's video I'm gonna be describing on how to basically play chain gadgets in a nutshell. I've had a few players over the past couple of weeks ask me why do I like the deck, do I think the deck will be good post Primal Origins, and basically, essentially, how do I play the deck? Well, to give you guys a little to understand how to play this deck, you guys gotta understand how to play gadgets. Gadgets is a deck that basically says you keep your hand advantage. You keep your hand advantage via searching off of every summon. So, for example, which is the reason why I run 3 green, 3 red, 3 yellow. They all replace themselves, netting me another card in my hand, so I can keep my same card in my keep my same number of cards in my hand at the end of the turn. And then when you run things in your deck like 10 Goldfish, Kage, you make your Exceed plays first turn to search either a 10 Goldfish, Kage, or Machina Gear Frame. Also, keeping your hand advantage the same because you go 10 Goldfish and go Gadget, you're technically -1 in your hand, but when you overlay into Gigant X or King of the Pharaoh Imps, you are balancing your hand back out to that 6 card starting hand you had, and then if you sat one or whatever. So basically, the whole goal of this deck is just to basically outpace your opponent by keeping your hand advantage up, similar to how Dragons Ruler were last format, and how Spellbooks was because those decks won basically by just keeping their hand advantage up. In older formats, gadgets were used as more as a control deck. From what I've been seeing, I didn't play gadgets back in 2007. I wasn't even playing Yu-Gi-Oh back in 2007. I had quit around that time to play Naruto. But from what I've seen through gadget history, the deck was used as basically as an engine just to keep a constant flow of cards to control the field with such cards as, dang, I can't think of the card name right now. That trap card that pay 800 life points to negate special summon. The MCO 40 build, the slow control variant. Now, recently, throughout the OCG, speeding up to now 2011 to 2014 era, OCG invented the chain summoning variant, which is basically summoning your gadget, chain link 1 Kage, chain link 3 chain summoning, allowing you to OTK. If you guys don't know how to OTK, you can search on my channel to find out how to OTK with chain gadgets. When I have enough time to edit this video, the link will be in the description down below. And it allows you to spam out with a ton of monsters. So, now that you guys have an understanding of how the gadget history was, let me tell you guys how to basically play the deck. So you play the deck really passive. Like your turn 1, you always want to go for a, depending on what your hand is, like if you open up with a gadget and a chain summoning, you always want to go for or also if you open up with a gadget, chain summoning, or a King of the Pharaoh, or 10 Goldfish, you always want to go for King of the Pharaoh Imps going first to search out your Kage because you have your chain summon in your hand and you can do your combos next turn. If you open up with Gadget, Kage, Gadget, just going to the King of the Pharaoh Imps, obviously to search under Kage. If you open up with a Gadget chain summoning back row, just obviously summon your Gadget, set back row, hold it to your chain summoning, and wait for your opponent to play responsive with you. Now, doing this, you will have a lot of situations where you're holding a chain summoning in your hand, and it might be dead at times, and yeah, some games it is dead. But when you resolve it, the payout is really good because let's say you have a gadget on field, your opponent sets 2 back row in their turn. And you not being scared, say you had green on the field, now you summon red, they activate Torrential Tribute or Needle Sealing or whatever they're going to do for that turn. You chain summoning. Now your 2 gadgets die, but now you get to use 2 more normal summons because of chain summoning ability to let you summon additionally. So you summon yellow, then you summon another green, attack for 26, overlay to Gigant X, and search. Very, very potent card. See, a lot of players get confused thinking chain summoning can only be used when you're using with Kage, and that's not the case. You use it as a responsive card to effects like Phoenix Chain, Maxi. They affect Veiler is a big one because you know people are really thirsty to Veiler your 10 goldfish or your gadget. And then also you use it to go use it to using it with Kage as a plus. There's also instances where if you go second, your opponent has a field, let's say bear, set one back row in turn, and you open up gadget, MST, chain summoning. You can go summon your gadget, usually they won't negate the summon of a gadget, they're just like, okay, whatever. They have back row your gadget's weak, they'll just run over next turn. Then you chain link one gadget effect, chain link 2 MST, chain link 3 chain summoning. And then they're gonna have no back row. Then you summon 2 more times, make a Gigant X, search, grab a 10 goldfish, summon 10 goldfish, search Kage, King of the Fell Realms. Go into King of the Fell Realms, search Kage. Very good combo. So, Mystical Space Typhoon will help you trigger your chain summoning, and also cards like Lance and can help you trigger it as well. Any card that you can use in your turn. I've even had instances where I've used Maxi on my turn in situations where my opponent have like a field full of back row, and I open up like a hand like this with 3 gadgets and a chain something, let's say 2 Maxis. My opponent has a bear, set 3 back row. I think it was a game at YCS Chicago where I've triggered my chain summoning with Maxi. And then I made Exton at the blow field up, and I stalled for a few turns. Even though I lost that game, making the Exton Knight helped me push and put the pressure on my opponent in that situation, which is very important. So yeah. Gadgets and chain gadgets in a nutshell. Maintain advantage, explode with chain summoning, and hold it down. And you gotta really know when to use it, because if you use it, let's say for a back. Also, you can also use. You never really want to use it when they have a bunch of back row, unless it's their only option. Like for example, I remember at YCS, different instance against a different player. It was Fire Fist. He had like bear, 4 back row. I had all gadgets, Kage, and chain summoning. If your only out is to make X time blow field up, you make the X time blow field up. But if you have a better play, like you can sit on back row, just do it, because if not, you don't want them to gain advantage over you. But that should be basically Yu-Gi-Oh 101 on trying to outplay your opponent. So yeah, this deck is really big on controlling the board by out advantaging your opponent by beating down the resources and maintaining resources. And then with the chain summoning, it helps you explode to catch up with the speed of the current meta. Now, a lot of people do like to play the slower version, and I feel like the slower version can be powerful with the power of the rank up magic. But that's a totally different realm that I don't have experience with yet. So I really can't give you guys a good description of how it'll be. But yeah, like I said, this deck in a nutshell, their main focus is to bait out the chain summoning plays by allowing your opponent to by trying to bait out Veilers while you have 2 gadgets in your hand, and not being afraid to summon a gadget against a bunch of back row for you to bait it out, chain summoning, or triggering your chain summoning via using your own Maxi and chaining to a gadget, or your own MST, or your own Lance, because sometimes those are the only times you can use the card. And the payoff is really good because you can go into X-Time, now you can go into 101 and start gaining advantage back over your opponent. Alright, this is your boy 21's X tutorial on how to properly play chain gadgets. If you guys feel like I missed out on anything that you were questioning about, put that in the comment section below. If you guys feel like it's something I needed to add, also put that in the comment section down below. If you found this information usable, give me a like, hit that like button, rate, comment, subscribe. Yo, but 21 and I'm out. Deuces.